let's add custom blocks to Minecraft. Alright, Francis back in IntelliJ once more, and in this tutorial we're going to be adding custom blocks to Minecraft, which is very similar to adding the custom items, however a little bit different. So in our tutorial mod package, we're going to right click new package called the block package. And inside of there, we're going to right click new Java class called ModBlocks. Now in the ModBlocks class, this is going to look very similar to the ModItems class. We're going to have a public static final deferred register of type block or blocks, and this is going to be equal to the deferred register.create forge registries dot blocks comma tutorial mod id. If at any point something is red, you can click on it and press Alt and Enter to import the class. Make sure that you choose Net Minecraft World Level Block, not org OpenJDK NASOR, very important, Net Minecraft World Block, this one right here. Apart from that, all of the code is also available to you in the description below, GitHub repository and individual gists as well. And let's also add the public static void register method with an event bus called event bus as a parameter, and we're going to call blocks.register on this and passing in the event bus. And before we forget it, we're going to call this right here. So below the mod items, we're going to say mod blocks.register and then passing in the event bus. Right, so to properly create blocks, what we're going to do is we're going to need two helper methods for this. And the first helper method is going to be a private static. And I'm going to start typing this out and I'm going to explain after I've done both methods. So we're going to do a angle bracket t extends block. I'm going to say registry object of type item, very important here, register block item, and then the parameters are going to be a string parameter called name, a registry object parameter of type t called block, and then a creative mode tab called tab. So then we're going to click on the item, press Alt and Enter to import it, then we have this made, and then the method itself is going to look like this: return mod items.items register, passing in the name, a supplier of a new block item with the block.get. Then the second parameter here in the block item is going to be new item.properties.tab, and then passing in the tab like this, and there you go. So high level looking at this, this simply registers the item associated with a block. And then let's actually also make the other method. So this is going to be private static once again, angle bracket t extends block registry object, this time of type t, which is the register block method, and then this is going to have a string parameter called name, a supplier of type t called block, and then the creative mode tab called tab. Now the first thing that this does is it's going to make a registry object of type t called toReturn equals to blocks.register, the name and the block. Then we're going to call the register block item method, passing in the name, toReturn, and the tab. And then we're going to return toReturn. Okay, so what craziness is happening here? No worries at all. So the register block item, like I've already mentioned, registers a block. Now what might be confusing to some of you is this craziness with the T and the block here. Overall, you shouldn't focus too much on this. This is just generics. So generics, you can basically, put stuff in here, and so you might have seen a list, and you can put any type of class in there, and then it's going to be a list of that type. And the general idea is that the same goes for registry objects and, the deferred register, for example. And in the beginning of those two methods, we basically just define, okay, whatever T is, it has to extend the block class. That's literally all that this means right here. That's basically it. So you shouldn't focus too much on this. If this is a little bit unclear what this means, that's totally fine, because this is definitely more advanced Java stuff. We're just basically restricting what T can possibly be. But apart from this, the rest of the method here should be fairly self-explanatory. We're just registering a new item. Now this is a new block item because, of course, a block has to have a block item associated with it, and we're just putting it into the tab that we've defined in this parameter. And we're calling that method from the register block method right here. And you can see here we're also just registering the block by doing blocks.register And that's pretty much all that there is to it. So how does a, well, block look like when we register it? Well, it looks like this: public static final. Once again, a registry object of type block in this case. And this is going to be the citrine_block. And this is equal to the register block method. Very important. And once again, we're going to start to put in the quotation marks for the string. And this name here generates automatically. You don't have to type this out. Citrine_block. And then a comma. And then we're going to need a supplier of a new block. And then once again, I'm going to press the tab key to autocomplete this. And then inside of here, we need block behavior dot properties dot, and then we can either copy a already existing block, or we can say of. We're going to say of, and this is going to be material.metal. And then after this, we once again have a builder pattern, and we can add stuff to it. So you can see if I put in a dot, these are the properties that we can basically, add. For our purposes, we're going to add the strength property. This basically defines how long it takes to mine this block. And then we're also going to add the requires correct tool for drops method. This one is needed later when we add loot tables to our blocks that we basically have defined. Okay, we can only mine this block with a specific tool that we've defined. And then after the second parentheses here, very important, we also have to call the creative mode tab.misc to basically add it to the correct creative mode tab. And that is a block in its entirety. I can once again just really advise you play around with some of those things right here. So you can see there's quite a few methods that you can call on this. So I highly recommend playing around with a few of them, and we'll see some more of those in later tutorials as well, of course. Right, but now the question is, we have added the block. The block would now be in-game, but without a translation, without textures, without everything. How does this work? Well, we need a new folder in our assets tutorial mod folder. Right-click, new directory called the Blockstates. Once again, very important that this is written correctly, so double check this. And inside of there, we're going to create a new file called the citrine_block.json. Now, the name of this file has to match the name that we're given here. Same with the items that we've already seen. And once again, I'm going to write this out once, and then I'm going to explain. So we're going to have curly brackets and then variance, colon, curly bracket, empty quotation marks, curly bracket, model, colon, tutorial mod, colon, block slash citrine_block. So what craziness is going on here? Well, a Blockstates JSON file basically defines what model should be looked at to display this block inside of the world. Now we have an empty string right here, or empty quotation marks, meaning that we don't have any variants. We should always point to this model right here that is under the tutorial mod namespace. So tutorial mod, model, so inside of the models folder, in the block folder, and then citrine_block.json. So right here, we're going to create a new model file as well in just a second. And this is basically what the world representation is going to look like. Now, what's very important is that in the Blockstates JSON, in the future tutorials, we're going to see stuff with different variants, and this basically boils down to Blockstates properties. So you can have certain Blockstate properties that a certain Blockstate can have, and that then changes what model it points to, which changes its representation inside of the world. That's the general idea, and we're going to see that, like I said, in future tutorials. Now, in the models block folder, right-click new file called the citrine_block.json. And then how does the block model look like? Well, it is actually going to look fairly similar to the item models. But once again, we're going to type this out. All of this is available to you in the description below, GitHub repository, and individual gists as well. Now, this parent is going to be cube_all, comma, textures, colon, this all, tutorial mod, colon, a block slash citrine_block. So this once again defines the textures, in this case of all sides, because we're using the parent cube all, and it just points to this texture. So once again, textures in the tutorial mod namespace, so tutorial mod, textures, and this time it looks under block slash citrine block. So this time we have to add the texture in the block folder. So we're just going to do this. There you go, citrine block. Once again, I just wanted to mention in the critters file, all of the textures are distributed under this license. So make sure to follow that if you want to use them in a open and in a public repository. Right, but this is not yet it, because we also need an item model for our blocks. So this is very important. So in the item model folder, new file, citrine_block.json. This is actually going to be fairly easy. So we're just going to have a parent, and this is just going to point back to tutorial mod :block/citrine_block. This right here just points back to the block model file, and then just displays our block in the normal 3D block way that we've come to know and love inside of the inventory, basically. So this is the general idea. Blockstates JSON defines how the block looks inside of the world and points to different block model JSONs. The block model JSON defines the texture as well as how the textures are basically being displayed on that block. And then the item model usually refers back to the block model JSON to basically display the texture in the 3D way inside of the inventory like we know. For every block, you're always going to need a block states, a block model, and an item model JSON. Always going to be the same. Now let's also go into the en_us JSON file to add the translation. So we're going to say block.tutorial mod citrine_block citrine block. There you go. And now everything here has been added successfully. So I guess let's see if it works. Alright, we found us back in Minecraft. As you can see, the citrine block has been successfully added in game, and it looks amazing. Both textures work in the world as well as in the inventory. So a quick troubleshooting tip right here is that if the texture does not work inside of the world, but it does work in the inventory, then it has to be the Blockstates JSON. So no texture world, Blockstates JSON. If it works in the world but not in the inventory, it has to be the item JSON. And if it doesn't work in both, usually it can be the model JSON, but it can also be just all of them. So double check for typos and stuff like that, and then I'm sure that you will find any issues. If there are some, missing textures, then I'm sure that you will manage. Right, but of course, once again, we're going to add a second block so you can see how it works. So don't even start and start to copy those methods over. Then once again, there is a definite lack of Java knowledge here, and I could just highly recommend, if that was something, well, okay, I'm just going to copy once again all of this over, and then I'm going to have everything twice, and then there's going to be a ton of errors, and you're going to be like, oh no, what is happening? Because there's a little bit of Java knowledge missing. Highly recommend my Java introduction for Minecraft and Hightail modding. I've linked it in the top right corner so that you can take a look at this. It's always going to be a great idea. If you are really serious and you want to make a really cool mod and you really want to release it and stuff like this, you're going to have a good Java foundation. Highly recommend it. Take a look at the playlist. There's 31 videos in there. It's really good to get a good foundation. Whatever the case may be though, now let's copy over the registry object one more time, and this is going to be the raw citrine block. And same here, raw_citrine block. And you know what? We're just going to go all out. We're going to make a third one as well. So I'm going to copy this one as well, and we're going to make a citrine_or as well, just so that we have this. Then at the end of the video, I will also have a little bit of an interesting thing here for you as well. We're going to say this is still metal. That's fine. Maybe decrease the strength a little bit so that it doesn't take too long to mine. Same with the citrine ore. That's definitely a little less, like let's say 5, and this is going to be stone. Now the material, if you set certain properties of it, then it's basically going to already set some block behavior for this. Usually it's not that important, but for example, the sound is being set with this, so that sometimes can be kind of important. You've also seen that I've changed the names here. This is of course incredibly important as well. Now, usually what I do when I make a new block and I already have something existing here, what I just do is, first of all, I'm actually going to add the translation, because usually that's something I sometimes forget. So raw citrine block and then a citrine ore right here. I'm going to say raw citrine block and citrine ore. There you go. And then this is done. That's great. So what I do is I take the already existing JSON file and I just, while holding control, drag it into the same folder, and then I can just rename this. So I can say raw_citrine block, and then usually for added craziness, I just select this, say Control C, OK. And then what I can do is I can just select this, Control V to paste it in, and then I'm already done with this. Same here, copy it, paste it in. Yes, paste it in, yes. So the workflow is very fast in this case. Now, of course, all of this, once again, is available to you in the GitHub repository in an individual gist as well. I'm just going to make the item model as well. Like I said, paste it in, there you go. And that's actually how fast this can go sometimes. So if you have one example of, normal block and normal Blockstates JSON stuff, then it's actually not that bad to just copy some stuff over here, and that is going to be fine. So we also need the textures. So let's just copy over the textures. I'm going to also copy over the texture for the ore as well already. And same thing for this, right? I'm going to copy this. I'm going to say citrine underscore or. Once again, I'm going to copy this. Okay. Go in here. Just paste it in. Right. We're going to copy the block once again. Just going to paste it in. Paste it in. And then one last time for the item model. Paste it in and paste it in. So that's actually, you can see that it can go very fast for adding, additional stuff. Once you have one example, basically, then it's going to be very easy to actually do. Well, whatever the case may be, let's also see if the 2 other blocks have also been added to the game. Alright, friends, in Minecraft, as you can see, both the raw citrine block as well as the citrine ore have been successfully added to the game. So everything working great. So that's actually how easy it is to add 3 blocks to Minecraft. Right, so that is actually how easy it can be. And I will leave you with, not really a challenge, but a little bit of a challenge. So you're going to find 3 extra textures linked in the description below, so where all of the textures are to download. And what you will find is that this is going to be Deep Slate citrine ore, Endstone citrine ore, and Netherrack citrine ore. And just try and add those as well. So you don't have to do this. It's just a general idea. You can basically just add this and then see if you can add those 3 blocks on your own. This should be fairly trivial, all things considered. It really shouldn't be too crazy, but you can try this. The solution will be available in the GitHub repository, so if you have no idea, then you can also just copy that over and then basically can continue. But that would be it for this tutorial right here. I hope you found this useful and you learned something new. If you did, I would very much appreciate a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials just like this one. So yeah,